Hello, my name is Tracy James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, I'm sitting with Tim McLennan to talk about the movies After the Sunset and Akira. Welcome.
Hello. You can't see me on the radio, but I'm waving.
He really is waving, so it's fine. We're gonna accept all of this. Maybe you can hear like the whoosh in front of the microphone. Yeah, we'll see if we'll see if that picks up later. Sure. So I mean, you had two very odd movies to go through. After the Sunset is not an overly well-known movie.
Yeah, when you first told me the movies I'd be watching, I was like, cool, and what? Because I had never heard of it and had literally no idea. It wasn't until like maybe a week ago when I finally like looked up what it was about, and then immediately like with the synopsis and the cast, I was like, oh, I am in. This movie's gonna be great. Like heist movie, Pierce Brosnan, Salma Hayek, Woody Harrelson,
Don Cheadle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some good names in there.
It is.
Yeah, and not the greatest movie though.
And then when I looked at it, it was like 1 star.
Yeah.
I was like,
The weird thing is that I have like very vivid anecdotes about most of the movies in my collection. Mm-hmm. This is not one of them. I don't know where I got it, why I got it. I know I must have watched it because it's in my collection and it's open, so I must have looked at it, but I have no idea why I would have bought this movie. Yeah.
I know why I would have bought this movie.
Salma
Hayek? Well, I mean, that played into it after the fact.
Yes.
But, no, a friend of mine has a theory about movies. Mm-hmm. And that is, if it's $5 or less in a bargain bin, he'll just buy it.
I have a feeling quite a few movies in my collection have been exactly that. Not surprised at all.
Yeah. So the theory behind it is like, that's effectively a rental fee. So
that's true.
If you spend $5 and it wasn't good, oh well, you return it the next day. Mm-hmm. Or in this case, you just now own it, and there's no difference except now you own the extra DVD.
Yeah, but that's like Blockbuster days. It's Blockbuster days are over.
Fair. That's
you can take that $5 and get most of a subscription fee to Netflix and watch a whole lot more stuff that's better with that same $5.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess, internet streaming and all that has kind of like, I guess, devalued the value of DVDs.
Well, I think it's devalued anything that could be digitized easily, right? So, I mean, even like right now, there's a whole push for digital books and comic books, for example. I, being a purist, will still buy my physical comic books. That's fine. I for some reason, I cannot stand reading more than like a page or two on a tablet or a screen. It drives me nuts. Mm. And especially when it comes to comic books and I want to check out all the pictures and the detailing and stuff, I'm like, no, can't do tablet buys and stuff.
I don't blame you. I'm the same. And I'm also the same for like movies and games. I like having it on my shelf.
Yeah. I'm the same. I went to Best Buy not too long ago. I wanted to get the new Beck album. Mm. So I went in there and it was just like, hey, where's your CD collection? And they're like, we don't do that anymore. You can go it online. And he looked at me like I was from like just the Stone Age or something. Like there was something growing out of my face.
Wow.
He's like disgusted with me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. The funny thing is though, is I will buy an album. First thing I do, I bring it home, digitize it, and then listen to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but I do still like to have the physical thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a generational thing.
Maybe. I don't know. Because, like, I don't know. Sometimes, too, with the CDs, there will be, like, feelies or something cool in the liner notes. We're getting a bit off topic, but there's a Tool album where it's got, like, stereoscopic pictures in it. So there's 3D glasses in the album case. Oh. And then you fold up the other side of the album, and there's, like, photos that you can look at, and it shows up in 3D.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, it's cool stuff.
That's one of Beck's albums was like that. I'm gonna forget which one it is. But yeah, the booklet comes in black and white, but it comes with sheets of like stickers and stuff, so you can decorate it and make it all like fancy and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
And like some of them were textured, some of them were flat and whatever, and it was really cool. It's just something to have to make you want to get the physical object.
Yeah.
But I mean, those albums I find are few and far in between, but I find they're still totally worth it when you get it. And you open it and you're just like, ooh, look at all the words. Ooh, I got stickers. This is amazing.
Speaking of physical objects.
Yeah.
Napoleon's diamond.
There were 5 of them.
There were 5? Is
it 5?
I thought,
is it 3 or 5?
I thought it was 3.
Is it 3? Okay,
I don't know.
But I guess the whole thing is you already know he had stolen one.
Yeah.
When the movie started. Then he was in the middle of stealing one, and he got it. And then the last thing is that he steals another one.
Yeah.
So for sure there's at least 3 of them.
Yes. And Woody Harrelson was saying it's like you want the last one.
Yes.
So
yeah. And that's how he like baited Pierce Brosnan into like, I'm gonna do this final heist, you know, kind of thing. And I was just like, oh god, you're so weak. You're such a man. Yeah, and Salma Hayek's like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Look at me in this bikini. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yes, and yeah. I actually felt really sad for her character because it was very clear that her character was supposed to be smart and intelligent and have ideas.
Yeah.
But she didn't actually get to say or really do anything except look pretty, except for when you first meet her and she's dressed as a bum.
She built a deck.
She did build a deck. You don't actually get to see her build the deck, though. It just cuts to her on the phone with him holding a tool.
No, she totally, like, hammered a couple nails in.
Really?
Yeah.
I just remember her just standing on the phone all the time going, I'm building a deck! And then they'd cut away, and then another part of the deck would be built the next time you see her on the phone with a power tool.
Circular saw,
yeah. I'm like, is that what you do when you're on a tropical island and you're bored, is build decks?
You gotta have something to do.
I guess. Steal diamonds.
Yeah.
There you go. I have to admit though, like, I was so disappointed in this movie.
I was a little let down as well, but also it was just kind of like a fun romp.
Yeah, but I don't think
it's meant to be necessarily.
I think it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think it actually pulls off fun as much as you want it to. Like, it's not like... Mm-hmm. Like, I find the movie excessively cliche in, like, the worst ways possible. It's not like when they did Ocean's 11, for example. Mm-hmm. That movie, I find, it's super cliche, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle's also in that movie.
Huh.
But it's so much better than this.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you why, though.
I think it has something to do with the editing. Like, how they broke up the story into the pieces.
Maybe.
It gave away things at points it shouldn't have, and then it hid things when those things should have been apparent. Because then you're just like, why is he doing that? What? And then they show you something, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, oh, all of a sudden he's into fishing.
Yeah, and you're just like,
what? Scuba diving, yeah.
I thought you didn't like that stuff. That's just weird.
Yeah. And
he wasn't even, like, trying to be his friend. He was just, like, being sarcastic the whole time and being kind of a tool.
Woody Harrelson?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Like, both of them.
I have a note here that this movie is just a giant 2-hour no homo.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing got really weird really quickly. You're just like...
It's just like, hey, come fishing.
Like,
hey,
okay.
come fishing.
Okay, put some sunscreen on me.
Yeah.
Come put me to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drunk. I'm all over you. Woo! And you're like, what? Why is this a thing that's happening?
Yeah.
And why is it... Like, I understand you're trying to be close to him to spy on him, and I understand he's trying to be close to him to keep him off his track. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, how they try to do that doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It was very weird.
And I totally pictured Brosnan as being the big spoon.
Yeah, I think he would do it. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the FBI character, he was... that's Woody Harrelson. I don't even remember what their names were in the movie.
Neither do I. Salma Hayek's was like Lola, I think.
What's it?
Or something like Lola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how quickly that went right through my head. It did not stay at all.
I don't think they even like really mentioned Brosnan's name more than like twice.
No, because there's the part where Woody Harrelson's character is drunk and he's yelling his name.
Oh, yeah.
He yells it like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he calls him, and then he's on the phone, and he's like, blah, 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 this guy's yelling your name, and they switch back to him, and...
Yeah, and he's like,
yeah.
Criminals like this guy.
Yeah, and you're just like, I don't know what your name is anymore.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah. It just didn't... Nothing about it stuck.
No, that's very true.
Yeah, the movie was done, and I was like, oh, that was finished. Okay. And then I got on with my day.
I mean, that's me with most movies, but yeah.
What?
So, I mean, I may be a poor guest for this because I tend not to, like, think about the movies I watch.
Yeah.
I just, like, go and watch them for, like, entertainment value.
I think you're watching bad movies.
No, because I like good movies.
I don't know. Because, like, I've gotten to a point where I end up analyzing movies simply because I watch a lot of movies, right?
Sure.
And then your brain just automatically starts categorizing things. Like, why do I like this one over this one, even though they're practically the same thing? Or why do I prefer to watch stuff blow up instead of people having introspective thought, you know? Why is this dialogue good and that dialogue bad? Your brain just starts picking things apart automatically.
Yeah.
But I definitely pick most of my movies for entertainment values. I don't want to feel things. No. That's what real life is for. I want to go have a good time when I go see a movie.
Sure.
That's the right way to do things.
Yeah.
That's me. But yeah, like I can't, at this point in my life, I just can't help but, kind of think about it when I'm done with it. But I think that's how I know After the Sunset was a bad movie. It's because when it was done, I was just like, my brain was just like, it just fell up the side of my head. And I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like The World's End.
No.
Where you're like constantly like, even on like a rewatch, you're like, oh, I didn't notice that.
Yes.
And like, that's one thing I love about his movies. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wright's movies are fantastic.
Yes.
Once I was watching, what is it? A Frame Apart, I think it's called.
Oh,
it's
Every Frame of Painting.
Is it Every Frame of Painting? Yeah.
The YouTube series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it that one?
Well,
they analyzed how Edgar Wright uses, how he does humor.
Visual comedy.
Visual comedy, yes,
Visual
that
comedy.
one.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
It's great.
I loved it. And it's true because, like, and he compared it to, like, other movies where people go from point A to point B and how boring it is and how he actually, even in, like, comedies, they do it that way. But in his, he's like, no, this is a good chance for comedy as well.
Yeah.
And, like, they chopped it up and analyzed it and stuff, and I was like, this makes it, surprisingly, it makes it even better. It's not like when you find out the trick behind a magic trick and it falls apart, you like, this one, it was just like, you just made it 10 times better. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That series is amazing.
It is.
I highly recommend it to anyone.
It allowed me to understand why, even though I thought the movies are both good, but why I think, what is it? The Star Wars movies. Rogue One.
Oh, the new ones.
The new ones, like Rogue One and what's the first one?
Something Red?
No. Oh my god, my brain is empty right now.
Solo?
No, not Solo. The first one with Rey.
Oh, The Last Jedi?
No, that was the second.
That was the second one.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Last Jedi is stuck in my head, and I can't think of the other movie, which is driving me nuts right now. It's horrible that I actually have to look this up. I'm very disappointed in myself. The Force Awakens. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, so that series actually helped me to understand why I didn't like Rogue One, but I really liked The Force Awakens. And it has to do with how they portray Rey and what's the girl's name in Rogue One? Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the
like
main character.
The main character, yeah. And like how one is an active protagonist and one's a passive protagonist. Okay. And I was like, that makes so much more sense. Because the first half of Rogue One is pointless. The second half of Rogue One, everything happens in it. Yeah. And I kept explaining this to people, and people are like, you are crazy. You are absolutely crazy. That is not true. Rogue One's a great movie, blah, 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 blah. Then I saw this thing that agreed with me. and then because I couldn't really articulate why I understood that in my head.
Right.
But it articulated for me, and I was just like, I told you so. It's right here. I felt vindicated. It was really good. It doesn't happen as much as I like, but yes, vindicated.
When it happens, it's great.
It's amazing. Told everybody, and they're like, you're wrong. But yeah, I think everybody's going to agree with me that After the Sunset, no, not great.
Yeah. The shark scene.
Oh, the shark. Where the shark gets on the boat.
The shark gets on the boat, and then they freak out.
Yeah.
And then Woody Harrelson just, like, unloads his pistol into it.
Yeah. One thing I didn't understand, but I'm like, you're shooting into the hull of a boat.
Yeah, it's like...
You're in the middle of the ocean, and he shot, like... He didn't shoot once. He shot like 10
6 times. Yeah.
And I was like, your boat's gonna sink.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing.
And then afterwards, he was like, you have the right to remain silent. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that's not how Miranda rights work.
No. Well, you know, if you look at the news these days in the States, that's a completely different story. Yes. We're not gonna get political. It's fine. It's fine.
Let's see. What other notes do
I like the random cameos in the basketball scene at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
There was Shaq. There was Ed Norton. Also, when they went to dinner, when they got to the island, they were, like, scamming those other couples. There was, like, random faces that you recognize. There's Jeff Garlin, who's the dad from, like, the Goldbergs.
Okay.
Who's also in, like, 100 other things, but that's the most recent thing that I can think of.
Yeah.
And he was there. It was fine. There's Kate Walsh, who was on Grey's Anatomy and Drew Carey show. And then there's Troy Garrity from Ballers. He was the bartender.
Huh.
And I was like, I know that guy. Why do I know that guy?
Is that also the same guy who plays Scully on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? So, like, bigger guy, gray hair, kind of like a buzz flat top.
No.
No? Okay, because I noticed him in there as well.
He was in there?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was one of the couples, unless I'm very confused and thinking of something else.
I don't know.
I might be very confused and thinking of something else.
Okay. Maybe that's one that I missed. Or I didn't recognize him? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. No, Troy Garrity is like a skinny Italian dude, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least on Ballers, he's Italian-y or something. I don't know. I didn't look up the ethnicity. But yeah, as soon as you said, like, big, gray-haired guy, I was like, no,
instantly
that's
discounted.
Completely opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite, like, physique. They also didn't mention what island they were on, which I thought was interesting.
That was interesting because also it's the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
So,
who have no jurisdiction.
Who have no jurisdiction there, but that means that it wouldn't be Hawaii.
No, it's not Hawaii.
So it would have to be some sort of Caribbean island, I would imagine.
Yeah, they did mention that it was in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Also because the main population was black, so I wasn't thinking Hawaii anyways. Mm-hmm. And then the horrible accents was just... I was like, come on, guys.
Horrible accents were horrible.
They were so... I'm like, what island did you go to listen to this accent? I have no idea what island it was. Also, you lost it there. Oh, it's back. Okay. You lost it there. Oh, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not right.
Very spotty.
Yeah. Yeah. And offensive. As a person from the West Indies, I was offended by that accent. Mm-hmm. And no, I will not try to do it right now.
I don't blame you.
No.
Because it was terrible.
It was very terrible. Oh, it hurt my feelings so much.
That character was in something else as well. But I don't remember what.
Who, the woman?
Yeah.
I don't remember her from anything else.
Yeah, no, she wasn't something, like, fairly high profile.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember.
Because her name is... I don't even have her name written down. That's really sad.
Let's have some IMDb music.
Oh, IMDb. After the Sunset. Okay. No, for some reason the trailer's starting. No. Her name is...
Naomi Harris.
She played Sophie.
Oh, she was in Skyfall. 28 Days Later.
Oh, she's Moneypenny.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's Moneypenny.
Oh,
that's what it was.
I didn't recognize her at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay. I'm still mad at myself I hadn't seen Moonlight, which she's also in, apparently.
I have not seen Moonlight either.
Yeah.
I've seen Moonlighting.
Everybody loves that show. It's great.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot. She has, let's see, 44 acting credits.
Wow.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Oh, she's also the chick in 28 Days Later.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! I probably should have recognized her. These are all things I've seen. She was also in Pirates of... she's the black pirate lady in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which one?
In Dead Man's Chest and Admiral's End.
That's the one.
She's got the one with the gnarly teeth and the weird dreads and stuff.
I don't think I've seen it.
You don't think you've seen that one?
No, I've definitely seen the first one.
Yeah.
And maybe part of the second.
Because I think I've seen 3 of them.
Oh wait, she's the one. Yes. Okay, I do vaguely remember her now.
Yeah.
Because I think I have seen World's End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but those I was very disappointed. Like, I guess with any franchise, the first one's usually pretty good, and everything else sort of tapers off. And also, Americans don't know how to, like, just stop ruining things, so they just keep going anyways. They're like, it made money. We're just gonna just grind this into the ground until it just dies.
Back to the Future, though, exception.
That is true, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
But didn't they try to make, like, a TV show or something about it?
There was an animated series.
Oh, yes! I only saw, like, one episode of that,
same.
and it was horrible.
All I remember is there was a giant boxing glove in the garage that, like, punched the car out of the garage so that they could get to 88 faster.
Yeah, which is just... Even for a cartoon, that's just stupid. Like, I understand with cartoons you can get away with doing more things that are slightly more ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's fine, I get it. But there's also a certain point where you're just like, that is not acceptable. Especially when it doesn't fit into your world. Like, I know, like, Back to the Future still fits into our world. It should still have some sort of respect for our space and time and level of idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's not like Rick and Morty where you can do something like that, where you're like, oh no, it's expected. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ugh, no. I tell you, some of these writers just don't understand. It's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing that was very weird about this movie, Woody Harrelson found the bullet that he shot into Pierce Brosnan in the opening scene of the movie.
Yes.
In a camera.
Mm-hmm.
In a island home.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, how did he know it was there?
No, didn't he, like, ransack the place? No, he didn't.
He didn't.
No, that's right, he didn't.
He was just sitting there when Pierce Brosnan walked in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he, took off his handle of the door, but...
Yeah.
And then planted a couple bugs.
But we also don't know how long he was there before Pierce Brosnan came in.
True, but I mean, like, who opens up a camera?
I guess if you're... He was probably looking for somewhere to put the bug.
Maybe, but... Yeah, I don't know.
But also where she opened it was where the aperture was and the lens attaches to the camera. Yeah. So first of all, it's a bullet that was fully round still. Yeah. Right? Which would have damaged the lens. Yeah. A, so that was a stupid place to have it. And B, if he looked there to put a bug in, as soon as she, like, picked up the camera to use it, there would have been a thing in front of the lens. Yeah. So you'd have been like, what's that? Open it and taken the thing out anyways. Exactly. So all of it's dumb.
It was very weird. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, presumably the camera wasn't really operational, or like she wouldn't have used it.
Yeah, it's like one of those like antique cameras you just kind of have around to look cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then second of all, why would she keep the bullet?
She actually says why she got the bullet. She said it was like a memory of the life they were leaving behind, or something like that.
Or the time that I almost lost you, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. She actually says in the movie, and I was like, fine, but it's still stupid.
Yeah. All right.
There's a lot of questionable... I think maybe that's the other problem with it. There are so many questionable actions that are taken within the movie that you're just like, but why would you even do that? Like, what's the point exactly? Or... like, where is this going? It didn't make any sense. Yeah. Like the whole like Woody Harrelson's character and Naomi, I already forgot her name. That's horrible. Naomi Harris? Is it Harris?
The local police constable.
Yes, the local police constable. That whole thing where she's like, she hates him.
And then all of a sudden they're making out.
Yeah, and you're just like, and it wasn't like a will they, won't they hate. It was just like, no, I hate you. Yeah. Get away from me. And then all of a sudden it's, like, she's like, I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. No.
It's like, oh, yeah, you got hurt. It's like, yes, kiss me better, please.
Yeah. I'm like, this is not like Indiana Jones. He doesn't get kissed where it doesn't hurt. That's not how this works.
I mean, I will say it's pretty smooth when he pointed to his cheek, and then she went in for the kiss, and then he turned his head.
Is that how you get all the ladies? Is that what it is?
All the ladies. They never see it coming.
They're just like, oh, he's never gonna do that. Oh God. So you watch these bad movies to get like your dating tips?
Yeah, that's why I'm single.
Make it work. It explains so much. This is why you have to watch the good movies to tell you the good stuff. Actually, none of that works. It's all lies. It's Hollywood lies.
Hollywood lies.
Yeah. I mean, if everything Hollywood said was true, all of us would be living our greatest lives ever all the time, and it would be amazing.
Yeah. Except
for like that one guy who's really mean and gets his comeuppance.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I love it when the uppins come.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even really have that much to say about this movie. I mean, it was just forgetful and bad.
Yeah. So here's a question. So Woody Harrelson comes to the island and he like pitches this theft to Pierce Brosnan.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I have a couple questions actually. Is at this point in time, we didn't know when he first arrived, but we found out that he's been suspended from the FBI.
Yes.
Also, yeah, going back to the island, and we don't know what island, but presumably it's in the Caribbean, and presumably it's not America.
Well, apparently, based on IMDb search that I did earlier on, it was filmed in California and the Bahamas.
Oh, okay. But if the FBI don't have jurisdiction there, why would they fly FBI people there, I guess, to check it out? But I mean, like, and then just leave the guy to, like, continue doing his thing?
Yeah, so what happened was so they did a background, because he's like, I'm with the FBI, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, wasn't it the fact that her ex-husband was jealous of the new FBI guy? That's why he actually followed up.
I mean, that's probably why.
Yeah. But he was already on the island and he was there, and they just sent people to get like Woody Harrelson's character. Like that's all that happened.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? But they show up in like the last scene or section, really.
No, that was like, I want to say it was like halfway or 2/3 through. They show up, and that's when you find out that he's been suspended.
Was it that early?
I think so.
Oh. Okay. So then, yeah, maybe that's weird.
Yeah.
But then they also leave him there.
And
then he gets his diamond, and now he hasn't sold it yet, but he's got a private jet and a limo.
Yeah.
And he's also killed somebody on the island. So he shoots Don Cheadle's character, even though he is suspended, and he technically should not have a gun.
Yeah.
Because even though he has a permit for it on the island, because they did a check, and he was the FBI, blah, 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 because he's suspended, technically...
They should have taken it away.
Taken away, and then he also shot somebody. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's all kinds of holes in the story.
Oh, very much so.
Oh, it's horrible.
So then here's the thing: is like, was it his goal? What was Woody Harrelson's goal coming to the island?
His goal was to embarrass Pierce Brosnan and then get him to steal the diamond, and he steals it from him.
Okay. But was that actually his goal, or was his goal to try to catch Pierce Brosnan to be reinstated? And then he got a taste of the good life, sleeping in the bridge suite. And then he was like, "Oh, this is too good. Having so much money is great. Maybe I'll steal the diamond from him after he steals it."
I don't know, because...
Or was it more premeditated than that?
I think it was more premeditated than that, because when he first meets Pierce Brosnan on the island, he's the one who shows him the thing, and Pierce, he didn't know anything about it. And that's when he's antagonized into doing the actual heist. Yeah. Right? So I think it's more premeditated than that.
Right. So he's going to... He goads him into doing the heist. But my question is like... Was he going to arrest him, or was he going to steal the diamond? Which one was his original plan, I guess?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So that's my only...
Yeah, because was he there to goad him to steal it so that he could arrest him, or was he there to goad him to steal it, then to steal it back from him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
So.
Because, yeah, by the end, he's like, oh, I got you to steal from me, and he starts, like, taunting him about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, his motives could have changed some way through there, because the first half of his plan was going to happen no matter what, right? Just that last part where you're just like, is he going to steal it, or is he going to be the good guy again?
Yeah.
You know?
And we don't know until he's getting onto that private jet.
Yeah.
And, like, making the phone call is like, I hope you bring cash.
Yeah. But that also makes him, like, a really bad, like, law enforcement officer if he can switch sides that easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean, presumably he's been, like, laughed off the force type thing because of his repeated failures to catch Pierce Brosnan.
But that's my other problem with the FBI, though. He warned them. He repeatedly warned them in the beginning.
That's true.
And they were making fun of him that he was being overly precautious with it. And then, when it actually happens, and they find him, they still laugh at him about it because, like, his the diamond still got stolen.
Yeah.
I'm like, either way, all of them has failed at their job. So why are they pinpointing one person who was like, no, we should do more, and then you didn't?
Yeah.
So... both sides of it are completely wrong.
Definitely a failure in not communication or management, assuming that Woody Harrelson was in charge. Oh, yeah. No.
I don't think he was completely in charge.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think I think that's also one of the problems with this movie is the fact that you're like, they just show officials that are in charge as completely incompetent and corrupt. Yeah. Is the other thing. Because even on the island, that one guy is pretty much bought out by the Don Cheadle's character, who wants to be in politics, but he's completely corrupt. Yeah, and he's kind of like,
I don't think he wants to be in politics. I think
he wants to control the island, though. Yeah. So he's running for mayor.
He's running it on he's running the underground.
Yes,
because he's allowing locals to gamble. Mm-hmm. He's allowing he's distributing drugs. Mm-hmm. He alludes to that. Yeah. And yeah.
Part of what he said, though, I did agree with, is the fact that locals aren't allowed in, like, clubs or bars or casinos or anything on the island because they're for tourists. They're for off-islanders. And there's no real entertainment for locals. Yeah. Right? And he wants to put that in. Fine. Sure. But then the whole drug part of it and the bringing guns, not so much. That's probably not a good way to go.
That's the illegal part of it.
Yes. Yeah. So, like... they just tried to put too many little tidbits together to make it seem all, like, deep and complicated, and you're just like, no, it's really not. Yeah. It just didn't go anywhere. No. Yeah. Do you want to switch over to Akira?
I was just thinking the same thing.
All right. So, yeah. So, our next movie, which is completely different from After the Sunset, is Akira. Of course, the 1988 classic anime. What do you think?
So Akira was one of the first animes that I watched as a movie. Mm. I mean, like, I grew up, I watched, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon as a kid. Mm-hmm. But, like, Akira was, like, a friend of mine had, like, a book of, like, top 500 movies rated or something like that. Yeah. And, like, Akira was in the A section, so we saw it, and we were like, 4 stars. Probably, or 5 stars. Must be pretty good. Let's check it out. So we went to Blockbuster. Of course. Rented it, watched it, and we were thoroughly confused.
That makes perfect sense to me, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't really changed in the, like, 2 or 3 times that I've rewatched it since.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. Yeah. Actually, I have the it's almost the opposite story of you, where it was pretty much one of the last, like, animes that I've watched in my anime watching time period, because like you Sailor Moon and Ranma and a Half, Dragon Ball, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then there was like Ghost in the Shell and all, like that kind of thing. Trigun is another big one. Princess Mononoke. Yeah. Fine.
Oh yeah, all the Ghibli's.
Yeah. So and then, but Akira was just a movie I had never seen, but so many people make references to and talk about and all that kind of stuff. And
I have a thing about that we can talk about later.
Yeah, okay. And then one day I saw it somewhere. It was probably really cheap, like $10, $5 kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Bought it and I was like, finally I get to sit down and watch Akira. And I watched it and I was just like, what? Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
5 stars. Okay. If you say so. I just kind of went with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole story. That's it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rewatched it, and I understand the story better now, I think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, I don't understand why people like this thing so much. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I think visually, like, the art itself of, like, the animation is beautiful.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying no.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it's very pretty. I love, especially the shots where they're going through the city, and they do, like, the building slide across, you know, and they show, like, the billboards and the lighting and all that kind of stuff. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It looks nice. But everything else about it falls apart for me. Maybe it's something that's lost in translation when translating from Japanese to English, because I watched the dub version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this DVD does have like the full Japanese version that you can read subtitles, which I was too lazy to do. So maybe it's something that's lost in translation, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't understand why people like this so much.
I feel as though it probably doesn't lose as much as you think it might.
Okay.
I think it is just that confusing and off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, like, it's not even the confusing part. I'm used to the way, like, Asian or, like, Japanese, Chinese storytelling happens, and, like, even, like, kung fu movies and stuff like that, they just have a different way of telling stories.
Sure.
And I usually get it. That's fine. But with this movie, I just find the actual story itself is extremely choppy, and motivations are lost. And reactions to things just seem disproportionate, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. And you're just like, what is even happening, or what is the point of this?
Yeah. I agree. It is very sort of disjointed.
Yeah.
And, confusing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think now I've seen it, and I've got, like, a fairly good grasp of, like, kind of what's going on and some of the motivations. Mm-hmm. So, I'm trying to think of, like, where to start. Because, like, Tetsuo, mm-hmm. who's, like, the kid that gets, like, at the beginning he gets into the crash, like, his bike blows up, and then he's, like, concussed, and so, like, the army takes him, and then the scientists start doing experiments on him because he's, like, a good subject.
Yeah, but didn't they find, like, a field or a harmonic, that thing that matched Akira? Yeah,
so there's like I guess that's like everybody has like a life force,
yes,
type thing, and it just so happened that like Tetsuo's happened to like match Akira's fairly closely, and like harmonized well with it, or however they put it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, this guy's going to be a great subject, you know, he's like very compatible with what we want to do, type thing.
Yeah.
And so they like start him on the drugs or whatever, but they like start him like a later, larger dosage, as opposed to like ramping him up into it, which probably is partially the cause of his like accelerated insanity and stuff.
But wasn't that also because the other kids that are part of the program were a lot younger than he was, and they were like, we're gonna catch you up?
I don't think they ever, like, really hung out, because, like, the only time that they were, like, really together was when Tetsuo's in the hospital bed, and they, like, come to him in, like, a fever dream.
Yeah, and they try to mess with him, right?
I don't know that they're messing with him, they just want to, like, see who the new kid is.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, and so they're, like, it's like a giant teddy bear in a car that walks on its back wheels.
That whole scene is so creepy.
It's so creepy, but the music is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, yum, bum, dum, dum.
But I think that, like, off-kilter music is the thing that makes the whole scene extremely creepy, you know? Because if that music was wrong, it would have just come across as, like, ridiculous. Whereas the music adds to that kind of, like, uncomfortable, this isn't right, what is going on, oh my god, there's a thing, you know? Like, that kind of, like, intensifying feeling. Yeah. So they like kind of come to him like at that point in time, and then they get scared away by blood because they're like 6 years old or something. Yeah.
And then they don't actually meet until, I don't know, maybe like 15-20 minutes later in the movie.
Yeah, because when he fights his way to the nursery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To like go and like, and then he just kind of stumbles across them. He doesn't really expect them to be there. Yeah. He's just like, I think he's trying to just escape the hospital.
No, isn't it Like, because remember he scares them. Then, like, their illusions, like, melt away.
Yeah.
And then he sees them and, like, they disappear. And then he's like, no, I have to get to the nursery. And then when he gets there, he's like, oh, you are, like, he didn't realize they were real people.
Right.
Yeah. And so he gets it, so it kind of, like, throws him, he's like, oh, you're, like, you're actual things. Okay, this is extra weird.
Yeah.
And then he kind of loses it.
Yeah, and, like, that's like, because before, so that was, like, the second time that he got taken by the army.
Yes.
So, like, the first time is when they first started him up, and then he escapes, and he tries to escape with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And that's when he starts getting, like, pings of, like, Akira in his head.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's like, I don't know who's Akira, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And so then that kind of, like, after the second time, he starts asking, like, who's Akira? And he starts, like, trying to find out. Yeah. And then, like, at this point in time, his powers are starting to grow. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so before we go any further.
Yeah.
My question is, those, I'm going to put quote-unquote kids, are they actually kids? Or are they, like, aged people in smaller forms? Or is it, like, the drugs they're on and their powers that make them look decrepit? I was never able to figure out which one that is.
So I'm pretty sure they're kids.
So they're actual kids.
I'm pretty sure they're actual kids. And then, yeah, it's just, like, I don't know if it's the drugs or the powers or whatever. Mm-hmm. I feel as though that is, like, what's sort of draining them. Because, like, the one girl, she's, like, on life support, effectively.
Yeah, she's in that thing, and she's in the bubble.
She's, like, in a little bassinet with, like, the bubble or whatever.
And then that one kid, he can't even walk. He's in his little, wheelchair thing, Xavier hover wheelchair. Yeah. Yeah. And, but then the other kid is the kid who can actually, like, run and walk and whatever. And he's actually the most normal, quote-unquote, of the kids compared to the other two.
Like, the one in the wheelchair looks the best. Like, looks less aged.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely, like, the other one is more mobile.
So, when I saw that kid in the wheelchair, all I could think of is Boss Baby.
I haven't seen Boss Baby yet. I've heard it's really good.
It's actually, okay, I don't think it deserves an Oscar nomination, but it's actually a very good movie. Like, it's thoroughly fun. It's for both kids and adults, and it gets very ridiculous at certain points, but you will laugh at it. Like, you'll have a good time watching that movie. And so, like, I think it's back to the whole concept of ridiculous movies that are made. And like, when people are like, oh, they're making a Lego movie? That makes no sense. And then they made this amazing movie. It's the same thing with Boss Baby. You're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Then you watch the movie and you're like, oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
They have, like, a series on Netflix. It's like Boss Baby Back in Business or something.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I want to at least see the movie first.
I would suggest don't watch the TV show. I suggest watching the movie.
Yeah.
Because I find the TV shows, like, the way the movie is set up, it's not set up in a way that a TV show would work properly. Mm. Following the same character.
Right.
Whereas the TV show follows that same character, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. That's just ludicrous.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Watch the movie.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so back to the little weird kid in the hover thing and stuff.
Yeah. Yes. So, like, they have powers, and they're just, I assume it's, like, the drugs or the power that, like, makes them sort of decrepit sort of thing.
Yeah.
So then Tetsuo, like, comes in, and he's, like, more powerful than them because, I don't know, I guess they're decrepit, kind of.
Is it? No, but I think it's just because, like, I've mentioned this already, X-Men, where it's a kid whose powers coming in and seems overly strong automatically because he has no idea how to control it.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that's what's happening.
Very much the case, yes.
Yeah. So I think,
The, like, army colonel also is like, you should come back with us and learn to control your powers. Yeah. If you don't, you might be overwhelmed and die or something like that.
And Tetsuo is just drunk with power because he's always been weak or lower than other people.
Yeah. And so, like, Kaneda is like, he's like constantly like, screw you, Kaneda. I mean, like, you're always looking down on me. It's like, I can protect myself. Yeah. And, like, now I can protect myself. Yeah. And he, like, throws this. Yeah.
Yeah. it just goes. But the thing is Kaneda is, he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things that, like, I was just like, I understand why you want to get away from him. He may have, like, been your first quote-unquote friend or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're in his bike gang, whatever. But he's a complete tool, and you need better friends. That's all I could think of.
But I mean, also, like, looking at Tetsuo, it's like, oh my god, man, everybody's just worried about you. Just be like, yeah, I'm fine, guys.
Yeah. We've seen that sort of
it's very
aspect in a lot of movies.
It's very much a trope, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that movie the other day? Like 4 years ago, where those like 3 kids get powers and that one kid gets drunk on the power, tries to destroy the town, and it's found footage style.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about. It's like they find like an alien thing. It like crash lands and then like they all touch it.
Yeah.
Super something.
No, that's Super 8 you're thinking of, not that movie.
No, not Super 8. Yeah, I remember I watched that in San Francisco.
I have not watched that whole movie. I've only watched the last, like, Chronicle. I've only watched, like,
Chronicle.
the last half an hour or so of it.
Okay.
And I was like, I get this movie. I know exactly what this movie is after watching that last bit of it. Because I was like, I should watch this movie. And then I saw the last hour and I'm like, no, I know this movie from beginning to end. 3 kids, they got some power. That one kid's just like, I have power now. I can destroy other people. And then he just loses it.
Yeah.
That was all it was.
Yeah. I don't remember especially liking it. It was fine.
I think it was a cool concept and a slightly different way of doing the found footage.
Because it was off of everybody's like cameras.
Yeah, or their cell phones and all that kind of stuff, and they kind of like piece together and whatever. Yeah. Which I thought was a really cool concept, and I like it when like there are so many movies right now trying to use our technology in films, but they don't know how to use it in a way that's actually interesting to the audience.
Yeah.
And I thought in the movie, in that context, it was done really well. Mm-hmm. But it's just the actual subject matter was like meh, you know? But like the actual idea of it though was really cool. Mm-hmm. Like they try to do texting a lot in movies right now.
Yeah.
And half the movie you're just watching people on their phones and you're like, no, that's not interesting to anybody to look at. And until they find a good way to represent that actually is engaging to the audience, it's a thing that's gonna fall apart really quickly. Yeah. And
I've seen it done, like texting, done somewhat well. Mm-hmm. It's kind of,
Yeah. I think no matter what, just having somebody look at a phone or having like text pop up on a screen, it's not interesting as yet. Or it hasn't been utilized in a way that actually makes it interesting.
Yeah.
It's
like, be home soon, winky face.
Yeah. And you're just like, why did we need to see this? Yeah. We didn't. Thank you. But yeah, like I think it's a really cool technique they use though. Mm-hmm. But if they find something more interesting to use a technique with, it'll be fun. Yeah. Because there's also it's like a party movie. These kids go to like have to like a crazy party or something. Mm-hmm. They did it the same way and it was much lamer. Oh. And I was like, oh, well.
How can you mess up a party that bad?
Apparently you can. Yeah. All the good parties happened in the 90s in those movies. Everybody knows that. It's done. Yeah. Can't hardly wait. Oh my god. But yeah, back to Akira.
Yeah. So one thing, it's the 30th anniversary of Akira this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, in 1988. Oh, yes, that is correct. Okay.
So actually it's been kind of cool because online there's been a couple, like some articles have come out, and one of them interviewed somebody who did some of the animations for it. Yeah. And she's like an animator from back then, and she had like a pretty stable gig doing like some sort of cartoon. I don't remember what. Mm-hmm. And they were like, the studio that she was at was like outsourced to like do some of the animation for Akira. And so she was asked, it's like, hey, you know, we've got this big project. We've got like Akira. It's like looking really good. We want you on it full time. And she was like, no. Because the animators are paid by the frame. Yeah. So you spend like half an hour, you know, doing one frame of animation, and that's like 5 cents.
Jesus, yeah.
So
Yeah, she wasn't worth her time and effort to
exactly,
switch.
because the cells were so much more detailed, they take that much longer, and you're still only getting paid 5 cents per drawing. Then it's just not worth your while. So she's like, no, I still need to live. Keep me on this show, and I'll also work on Akira.
So she did both.
So she did both.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been a lot of work.
Probably, yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because even just like based on just looking, because every single frame of that movie is completely filled with detail.
Yeah.
And beautiful detail at that.
Yeah.
Especially like the scenes with like the explosions and stuff.
The
and
smoke animations are phenomenal.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're so good.
They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even like, especially like that scene where they're going through the city and they're fighting with the other gang, and the part where Tetsuo crashes and you see the rubble on the ground, and the fact that like the part of the highway they're at, they have like big rock faces coming out to slow people down.
Yeah. And
you see the detail of the stone faces that you can see, like bullets have hit it and cars have hit it and there's damage and there's like graffiti on it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
you're just like there and it's just him falling over on his bike going, what the hell? But you're just seeing like, little stones on the ground.
Yeah.
And just,
and the lighting as like the fire moves and stuff like
that. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It's crazy good. And like it still holds up. It's faltered a little bit, I think, since like the mid to late 2000s.
Visually? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, just because like everything else has gotten so much more detailed, I think.
I think it really depends on what you're looking at, though.
That's true. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't hold up. It absolutely holds up.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to. Maybe the characters seem a little flat. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That's true, because I find the actual sets, or like even like the motorcycles and the ships and all that kind of stuff, are much more highly detailed than the actual physical human characters.
Yes.
Yeah, because their faces and stuff are pretty blank. They're just like big circles with a nose and some eyes, and then they get angry and they throw a couple of wrinkles on it.
Yeah.
But then the background is like this highly realistic, detailed, building and like fire going up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Tetsuo's girlfriend, I think, was probably the flattest character.
She's
just like worst... always with the like mouth agape, like.
But the worst stuff happens to her, though.
That's true.
Yeah. Like that one scene where they like attack her and they just punch her in the face and she falls flat on her face on the ground. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Was that actually necessary? No.
Biker gangs, though.
I guess. I don't know.
Bunch of clowns, them.
Oh, that one scene, though, that really got me. Because, and then afterwards, like, they put, like, a jacket on her and then they showed her, like, swollen face and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, that is not... I'm guessing it's supposed to show, like, the brutality of A, the time period, and B, the fact that they're part of gangs. Fine. But at the same time, it didn't help the story. It didn't do anything for the story.
Not really.
It didn't show Tetsuo's new power. He didn't
He didn't really have it at that time.
Yeah, because he had just escaped the first time.
Yeah.
So it didn't show anything.
Yeah.
So why was it necessary? It was my biggest thing, like if that was the moment where his like power manifested and he like did something crazy.
Yeah.
I get it. I would get it. But like it didn't do a thing for the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, that wasn't necessary in any way, shape, or form. And that was one of the things that really bothered me about the movie, was the fact that there was a level of brutality in it, especially towards not just brutality, but like
violence in general.
Not just violence, but like they were just very hostile to the female characters in the movie automatically, right? Because even like the one girl, the girl resistance fighter or whatever that Kanata gets obsessed with, she's talked down to and insulted the whole movie. Then there's Tetsuo's girlfriend. Then there's this scene where they bump into like girls from their school or whatever, and they pretty much tell them to like just shut the hell up and go away, or
it's like,
do what I tell you to do.
Why are you always hanging off my arm?
Yeah, and it's stuff like that. And I'm just like I understand they're supposed to be a little bit tougher and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, none of this tells you anything about the story. None of it furthers anything. None of it doesn't give you proper insight to the characters in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Why does it need to be there? And that's one of my biggest problems with it. I was just like, your characters are just they're not fleshed out in any way, shape, or form. You're not given a reason to why they're acting this way or why they're reacting this way to stuff.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't do anything. That's what really frustrated me about it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's kind of the problem with the movie, is that it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, because I heard that the person, I don't even know, I should have looked this up, but I don't know who the actual author is.
Oh, of the manga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently he wasn't even finished the manga when this movie was made.
Oh, really?
And so what had happened is that they sort of just kind of, there was supposed to be more to the story past this point.
Okay.
And just nothing else happened with the actual movie of it. But, like, there was more to the manga.
Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to go buy the eight manga box set. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome. And you give me a book report, let me know how the rest of that story goes, and then I'll let you know if that changes my opinion of the movie.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll lend it to you as well, and then we can have like a follow-up session.
Be like, okay, so this isn't off my shelf. It's another sort of off my shelf.
It's off my shelf.
It's off his shelf.
Yeah.
Off Tim's shelf. And we're going to talk about the manga for Akira to see how it holds up. Yeah, but like, so when I like heard about that, I was like, okay, so maybe this explains some of the disjointedness of this story in particular.
Yeah, maybe.
But at the same time, what bothers me about it is, even if you have a movie, especially if it's a first movie in what is hopefully a set of movies, the movie should stand on its own. You shouldn't have to refer to books or games or some other thing to understand it. If it's in a specific medium, it should work in that medium, and the people watching it should be able to understand it.
I have mixed feelings about that.
Really?
I do agree with you that, like, me knowing nothing about, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example here. But I can't, so I'll just say Star Wars.
Okay.
Me knowing nothing about Star Wars, I can come in at The Empire Strikes Back and figure out what the relationship of the different characters are, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And like, I can watch that movie and understand what's going on.
Yes.
Actually, a better example would be, for me anyway, would be the third one. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Because actually, the first Star Wars that I ever watched was Return of the Jedi in French. But anyways.
Sorry. Why in French?
It was on the French channel in the motel that I was staying at that night.
Okay.
And I don't know, I think I was like 8 or 10 at the time. Yeah. And like, I was like on a road trip with my mom. And it just happened to be on. And it was like, and I was like, oh, this is cool. What's this? And my mom's like, oh, this is Star Wars. You've never seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
And there you did, in French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might have been English subtitles. But I was also in like French immersion, so I understood most of what was happening.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I had no idea what was happening, and then I was like, oh, okay, so he's here on this planet with this green guy. And they're training. Okay, cool. Why is he training? He's like, oh, he's got to go fight the bad guy. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so like I was able to piece that together. I've gone completely thought train derailed on you.
Yeah. It's fine.
You were talking about how something needs to be, it needs to stand alone.
No, my point is that if there is a movie that is made,
yeah,
especially if it is the first movie in like a trilogy or something,
right? You can't.
You should be able to watch that movie and understand the movie.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to.
You don't need supplementary materials.
Yeah, you don't have to like read a book over here. You don't have to understand a thing over here and whatever to understand the movie. You should be able to watch it and be like, I understand the characters. I understand the motivation.
Right.
At least for the minimum, the first movie in a series.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. I agree with you. I guess where my confusion came in was that also having things for people who have read or played or watched the other movies or other media, having little things in there for them is very good.
No, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But you should not have to depend on that outside knowledge to allow people to enjoy your film.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the MCU is working so well, is because you can literally watch any of those movies. You don't have to read a comic book or know the character's background or anything. You watch one of them and you get it.
Yeah.
Right? They are all standalone movies. That, yes, they have post-credit sequences that have some implication somewhere else. If you don't get that, that's completely fine because it's not really part of the movie.
Sure.
But the movie itself, you can watch any single one of them. You can watch the movies in any order you want to. You don't have to read a comic book. You don't have to know the history of the Marvel Universe. You don't have to know previous motivations about anything. But you watch one of them as a person coming in completely blind, you will understand the characters, you'll understand their motivations, you'll understand the villain, you'll just understand the world that is created. And that's what works about it. But the problem with a lot of movies that come out that have supplementary material is that they are expecting you to do a bunch of research to understand the movie. That is a bad movie. Okay?
I'm going to recant, and I'm going to agree with you that is true for the first movie.
Okay.
And I think the more material that you amass in your cinematic universe, the more you can pull from it and assume that people have seen them.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. So like
the Avengers, I think, is maybe not an ideal
but
scenario.
it's a good example of that.
It's a good example because it's like you watch the Avengers and it's like, okay, who are these people? I don't know, because you're going in blind. But I mean, it still tells a story. You may not know who everyone is. You may not know their personalities, but you kind of get to know them. They have a bad guy that they fight, and then it goes on from there. Then
and I completely agree with that. But the thing is with like I said, the thing with the Avengers, the MCU, is even if you watch an Avengers movie, you start the movie, there's no introduction of characters, and you're like, who are these people? But by the end of the movie, you know exactly who they are, they know their motivations, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
You're fine, right? But what makes it work is that if you did watch everything before it, everything that happens in that movie is tenfold.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But
it's got all the tiebacks and that sort of thing.
But missing that information doesn't detract on you understanding the movie.
True.
Whereas, I mean, one of the things I enjoy, for example, with Game of Thrones, the TV show, is there's no way they have time on air to pick out all of the things that are in the books and put them in the TV show, or else that show will be drawn out and boring and frustrating, and it'll just drive people crazy. But they always make nods to things that are in the book. And if you read the book, great. If you didn't read the book, it's just another scene.
It's lost on you.
It's lost on you, but it doesn't detract from the story being told.
Sure.
And I think that's what's really important. But you have, like, one of the things I like to refer to is the first Harry Potter movie. Okay? That movie depends on the fact that the audience has read the book. Okay? That story is very disjointed and goes all over the place.
Okay, so, one, I haven't read Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I have seen very little of the show.
Okay.
Which is fine. I mean, whatever. I still understand what you're saying. You're making good points.
Okay.
2, I haven't read Harry Potter.
I have also never read Harry Potter.
But I've also seen all of the movies, so I'm curious as to what you're going to say now.
Well, no, because I hate the Harry Potter movies. Right?
Oh, okay.
I have never been able to sit through all of them, especially because the world is built up on that first movie. You have to watch the first movie to get the second movie, to get the third movie, to get the fourth movie.
Okay.
Which is acceptable in a series.
Sure.
The problem is that first movie is highly dependent on the audience having read the actual book. Okay? And my problem with that is that movie doesn't make me want to read the book. Okay?
I agree.
The movie is disjointed, badly acted. The world is not particularly interesting to me, how it's created in that first movie. And if you like it, that is fine. I get it. You read the books. It means a lot to you. You get pulled in and you're like, oh, it's come to life. This is amazing. Fine. But as a person who did not read the books, it loses me completely. And by the time I get to a later movie that is a quote-unquote good movie, I have no investment in characters. I have no background in what's going on. And it just doesn't... I don't want to watch any of this. I have no interest in any of it. And I have literally... I have a few friends who are obsessed with Harry Potter, make Harry Potter references on a regular basis. And I'm just like... This is not a thing I'm going to be doing. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of my biggest problems is that, like, you can't depend on, like, especially when you shift mediums, you can't depend on the other medium to supplement the new medium.
That's true.
They should be able to stand on their own, especially when it comes to, like, movies and TV shows. Don't expect people to do homework to understand your show. Yeah. Your show should have what it needs in it to move the story forward and to keep the audience. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
You have created a sound argument.
Okay. I just say, like I'm a person who... I also read a lot, okay? And not just comic books, like novels and stuff. So, like, there's the whole argument between is the book better than the movie and blah, blah. And I could easily separate the two of them. That is not a problem. Sure. But there was a point in time when I'm like, this is a bad movie. Even though I've read the book and I understand everything, this is a bad movie because it doesn't explain these three things, so nobody's going to understand why anybody's doing any of this stuff. It makes no sense.
Yeah, quite possibly what Akira suffers from.
I have a feeling so. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think that's the problem with Akira is that there's so much motivation missing in there or reasons why. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at the very end of the movie, you realize one of the reasons why they're part of a biker gang and they're stuck together is because they were like they grew up in like a rooming house or something.
Yeah, it was like a
they're orphans.
Orphanage, effectively. Yeah.
And so they're angry youths.
Yeah.
Fine. But at the same time, their motivations just still don't add up. You're not mad at anybody in particular, and you want to be in a biker gang, fine. Yeah. But why do you have to be such a tool to the people that are protecting you or helping you or whatever all the time? Yeah. I just don't get it.
Clearly, we're just way too disconnected from the teens.
Apparently, the youths.
The youths.
The youths.
The youths. What's a youth?
Youths. Yeah, like I rewatched it and I was expecting to get that like revelation. They're like, oh, now I really get it and I really understand why people love it and blah blah blah. And I'm still just like, no.
I was not expecting that. I did sort of glean a little bit more than I have on previous watches.
I must admit, this is the first time I watched it and I realized why the movie's called Akira. It's fine. So no, because I knew for a fact that there's no character in the movie named Akira. Yeah. Right. I remembered that fact about the movie,
except for the character named Akira,
which comes in at the very end, which is in this like hallucinations and stuff.
Yeah.
But I remembered like the actual like kid who goes all ballistic and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, his name's not Akira, and the guy on the bike, his name's not Akira, and there's a chick and another chick, and their names are not Akira. Why is this movie called Akira? And I was like, oh, he's having crazy visions of somebody named Akira who manifests from body parts at the end. Gotcha. Okay, what? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't I don't like this movie. And as people call me nerdy and geeky and all that kind of stuff, and I feel like I have to give up one of those cards for not liking this movie, but I really don't.
You know what? That's fine.
I guess that's acceptable.
It's okay to not like a movie.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yes. It is okay to not like movies. Or not like a movie.
There particular. You go. No, I'm like, I like movies. It's just this particular one. I'm like, not so much.
No, I will agree. The plot is crazy.
But do you think...
It starts out, like, there's also this whole, like, civil unrest happening.
Yes, within the city.
Within the city that, like, it's like, I guess employment's really high because of the last government did something. Also, the Olympics are coming to town in 2020.
2019. Well, yeah, 2020. Because the movie takes place in 2019, which is next year.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's fine.
And then the Olympics are going to be in Tokyo in 2020.
Which is actually kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah,
so I think we really need to watch the news next year about Tokyo. See if any weird explosions happen.
Giant black spheres
appear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like
decimating half the city.
Yeah, that's gonna be odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the one thing I realized in the movie is that all of the kids that are part of that biker gang are under the age of 15, which I was just like,
yeah,
what?
that's weird.
Well, because when they get arrested at the beginning and they get sent to that school, they're like, you can't be charged because you're under the age of 15, but if you get kicked out of this school, your life is over.
And we're going to charge you as an adult or whatever.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait, they're under the age of 15? What?
Yeah.
I would never have guessed that in a million years.
And yet they can, like, ride motorcycles.
And they have
motorcycles. Totally fine. And they have motorcycles. I think it's mentioned early on that it's like, oh man, where'd you get that? And it's like,
one of them was stolen.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if you want it, you can steal one yourself, sort of thing. So I mean, I imagine most of their bikes are stolen.
Yeah, but like especially Kanada's bike, which is like the fancy red bike that's on all the covers and stuff.
Yeah.
His bike is touted as being this like amazing vehicle that is custom made and ridiculous.
Yeah.
The person who we stole that from is going to see that bike somewhere and get it back.
Yeah.
That is not a bike you can hide. How was he able to keep that bike?
I probably slapped some stickers on it. It's a totally different bike.
You're like, no, there's a sticker on this one. You're
yeah.
crazy. This is not yours.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this movie has a legacy.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, just it was like very much a landmark movie, especially in the animation world.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason why we don't get it is not that we don't get it, but it's like we don't appreciate it as much as we do, as it quote unquote should be, is because we watched it outside of the time period it was created? Like it's a movie of its time, so
I think that might be part of it. Yeah, that might be part of it. I think like I said, the animation still holds up very well, and it's got an homage in like everything. Like Batman, the animated series.
Did it? Yes, that is true.
There's like
with Clayface, right?
It was like Robin. It was like Robin like did the bike slide.
Oh, he does the bikes. No, see, I was thinking of the thing with Clayface when he gets like he like first turns into Clayface and he turns into like a thing.
Oh yeah, he's
I was thinking of
blobbing together.
Yeah, I was thinking it was the homage. I didn't even think about the bike slide.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, because like the bike slide is in like everything.
That is true.
Yeah.
I was the other reference that always comes to head first is from Robot Chicken when they did the Little Drummer Boy Christmas episode, and it's like Santa Claus or something. Like, turns into like the blob thing.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they make references to that stuff everywhere.
All over the place. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2003 series did it.
Yes, they did.
I don't even know what else. Like there's a list. If you Google like Akira bike slide, there are like several articles that just have like little GIFs of it happening in various cartoons and animation, and it's kind of great.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if like Tron is one of those. Because I'm pretty sure at one point in time the light cycle
does like a slide.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wait, what year was Tron?
No, actually.
Was it?
No, Tron was before that.
Yeah, I want to say I have 3 guesses for Tron.
I think it was
86, 86, 89, 92 are my guesses.
No, it's definitely not the 90s. Tron, 1982. I was right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So no, it's not Tron. They may have done it in Tron Legacy, which was 2010.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. When I saw Tron Legacy in the theater, I started laughing right at the beginning when, like his son opens the door and he's like, "Ooh, that's a big door," because like the day before I watched the first Tron movie, and the same joke is made in the first movie, and the theater was completely silent, and the lady in front of me turned around and gave me like this dirty look, like, why are you laughing? And I'm like, you need to watch the previous movie. I was very upset about that.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. But yeah, you need to get the little tidbits in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's a song by Childish Gambino, where he says he's the realest, I'm going to say, quote unquote, person in the game like Tron. And it gets me really pissed off because Tron is not the real person. It's Flynn. And it makes me angry.
Oh, that's
every
true.
time. Yeah.
That's true, because I forget, Tron was like the Guardian program or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a program. Flynn is the only real person inside of the world, right? And I'm like, no, you are not the realest whatever in the game like Tron, because then that makes you a program. You are a facsimile. It's very upsetting to me.
Fact check your songs.
But I mean, within the actual song, it sounds really cool. But at the same time, every time I'm like, you're lying to yourself. It is incorrect, sir. Incorrect. But yeah, I mean, so overall, After the Sunset and Akira, thumbs up, thumbs down.
You know what? Overall, I'm going to give it thumbs up all over the place.
For both of them?
Yeah. You know what? I'm a simple man. Like I said, I don't read too much into things.
Oh my god.
Akira, very weird. My thumbs up for that is 100% animation.
Yes.
After the Sunset, my thumbs up for that is 100% Salma Hayek in a bikini with overalls over top of the bikini because she was building a deck.
Well, yeah, she has to look like she's a working person.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, After the Sunset was just dumb fun for me.
Yeah, I can't.
And it wasn't even that fun, but also my standards are very low.
Well, that's the problem. It wasn't even that fun. Like, I actually found myself super bored while watching the movie. And especially if I go to if I'm watching a movie and I pick up my phone and I start playing on it, you've done something wrong.
Yeah. No.
You have done something wrong, because movies can hold my attention and I will just watch it. Because even Akira, I was like, what is even happening? And I just watched it.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. But yeah, After the Sunset for me, thumbs down. Akira, I think people should watch it. Even if they don't understand the story, just the visual aspect of it and just the overall animation and look of it should be looked at.
Yeah.
I think it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
Guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. This was a fun discussion.
It was.
Yes, it was. You should come back at some point in time and we can do maybe quote-unquote better movies. Yes. I like to say quote-unquote because I actually do the bunny ear things on a regular basis. And people have to know that I'm doing that because you can't see it while I'm talking.
Oh, the air quote fingers?
Yes.
They do look like bunny ears. I've never heard them described as such, though.
Really?
Yeah.
The first...
Because, bunny ears, I think, holding, the peace sign behind someone's head to give them bunny ears.
I've always heard these, bunny ears. Or because people always, sometimes do, the one hand, quote-unquote.
Who is that? I mean,
I do it.
I don't move it, but I'll do it with one hand if my other hand's busy.
Oh, sometimes I do the... quote, blah, 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 unquote. I do that.
Oh, okay.
Compared to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the two-handed quotey thing.
Yeah. But even if you're doing two hands, you still do it twice.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Everybody does.
Which is wrong, technically, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make any sense.
Because, maybe if you're doing it with one finger, you do it twice.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it with two fingers, everybody does it twice.
Yeah.
Either way. We have problems with our gestures.
Yes.
But at least we understand each other with our gestures, so it's fine.
Yeah, as long as the message gets across.
That is the point, right? It's language. Yeah. English is weird. It's fine. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. You can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, and you can send me emails at ohmyshelf@gmail.com. Next time, we will be talking about Aladdin and Alice in Wonderland. Hope you'll be here to listen.